I'll admit, in the last video I teased you a bit, because you could see that yes, I did make it to Nara, but I didn't really show you much of what happened here. The journey was fun, but what happened later was even better. Because yes, once we got off the train, things were off to a bright start. The place was beautiful, green, lush, and vibrant. There were a lot of people here, but sooner or later, I found some deer. And they were just everywhere. On the sidewalk, there were just a bunch of deer chilling where there were cars not 10 feet away. But that's the thing about Nara, is that the deer are so commonplace and part of everyday life that for the most part, people just kind of ignore them. So after seeing a million videos of people feeding them online, I decided to get some deer biscuits and try my hand at feeding them. Let's just say it was interesting.
Wait, shirt. Calm down, dude. It's all good, I got you, bro. I got
No, but seriously, these guys were really aggressive. You don't realize it until you're there in the middle of it, and I consider myself a fairly brave person. It's weird to say that I was brave in feeding deer, but these things just really swarm you, and you don't expect it. It's kind of insane. But nonetheless, it is rather fun and cute because there's just a bunch of animals around you. And as someone who's grown up in like a city where there's really not terribly many animals all over the place and wildlife, it was cool to be up close with animals like this that were just wild and crazy.
That was scary.
Yeah, I wanna lick, let me get a lick, yeah!
Best part about Nara is you can just find yourself a little deer. You can come over here and say hi to him. And there you go. Give him a little pet. And that's all you need.
The crazy part is that we hadn't even gotten to where we were going yet. We were of course on our way to Nara Park, but along the way you just constantly see deer everywhere, from little ditches on the side of the street to behind fences, but eventually we did make it to Nara Park. And while watching these deer, it was a lot of fun, because there's really just not much else to do. Yeah, you could shop for souvenirs, but, you know, that gets a little expensive. So, it was time to hang out with these little guys and see what they had to offer us. And let me tell you, some of them were making some strange sounds.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Got it. Stop it. Hey.
Don't yell at them.
Here. All right, here, eat that. Ate the whole thing. Hey, I said down. Good boy. Here in Nara, you can buy some rice crackers. Get on the bell. You can buy rice crackers for about $2, and they'll bite your clothes, and then you can feed them. And it's a lot of fun. It's also incredibly scary. You kind of, hey, calm down, bow. They're coming. You know what? You can't get me from up here. What are you gonna do now? Don't bite my knees. You can have that one. And you can have that one. And that's it. That's how you feed deer at Nara. They're biting my legs. But it's pretty fun. Just get in. They're rubbing on me. I don't have anything else. This is a pretty fun time. If you're not afraid of animals, you should definitely come here. It's a little nerve-wracking, especially because they can mess up your clothes, so don't wear a nice outfit. Wear something that you don't mind maybe getting a tear in, because these guys are beasts, literally. But they're adorable. But now they're all leaving me. Get a shot of that. Ungrateful. Get a job. So yeah, I'm here at Nara Park, and there's a ton of deer everywhere. They're just all over the place. They just roam around freely, and they're just all over the dang city, so they're funny. You can give them crackers, but they will maul you for those crackers, so be careful. They will tear you out of your clothes. But it's worth it, because they're cute little animals. This one here just keeps screaming. Not quite sure what's up with that, but it's funny. What are you doing down there? Sewer deer. All the other deer out walking around. This one's living in the sewer, like a friggin' ninja turtle. Hey, what's up? But if you're smart like me, the best way to do it is to stand up on a bench, because then they can just bite your kneecaps. But
It's not as bad. It doesn't hurt as much, especially if you're wearing jeans. He's a sneaky one. Hey, what's up? Yeah. That's a good deer. So over time, these deer have been so well domesticated, I guess, with people that they've learned to bow for snacks. So I decided to test that. As a king, I was going to make these animals bow to me.
Rude. Got him. Oh, he's mad.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. You know what I'm saying? It may have been mating season or something, but some of the deer were acting really wild. Other ones were being really cute and sweet, but then guys like this were just hounding on the girls. Still, it was cool to be able to shop in this area while also just petting deer. But of course, all of the merch here is centered around deer, such as these giant dorayaki, which I did buy one of. But there was deer plushes, deer keychains, deer magnets, everything you could imagine. But this was just all a park, and the park was really nice. It was just super pretty and green and natural, and there was deer everywhere. There he is. Oh yeah, my man. It's getting dirty, if you know what I'm saying. You feel me? There was even some deer inside the shops. This lady had to push this one out. Oh, and I just want to thank this guy for not only walking directly in front of my shot while taking photos, but also just staring directly into my camera. Thanks a lot, buddy! I wanted to take a picture of you! So, yeah. That was the shop area. I bought some stuff. But let's move on. Bite. Kick. Knock down. Butt. So I was just giving the deer leaves off of the trees, which was working really well, but then this nice old man came over and was like, hey, you noob, have some awesome spring mix to feed these little guys. So yeah, I just sat here and made this guy bow and kept feeding him lettuce.
He's going nuts. Those hurt.
No. I can't give you any more. What are you doing? Okay, fine. Give me a little bit more. But you can't bite me anymore. Stop trying to, hey! Take the bag! He's gonna get us. Again, there's really not much to talk about. I was just walking around the park and looking at all the deer and feeding them. That alone is just nice and peaceful. What I think is possibly the coolest thing about the deer is that they're rumored to be messengers from the gods. Their presence alone is to be seen as a good omen. And that's cool. The fact that they have remained such a valuable commodity to the area just really makes me happy to think that they have a good home here. According to folklore, it's said that Takemikazuchi no Mikoto, one of the 4 gods of Kasuga Shrine, arrived to the people atop a white deer. Since then, the deer were seen as sacred and even divine. Killing one of them would have been punishable by death up until the year 1637, as it was seen as a capital offense. Now, after World War II, the deer were officially stripped of the sacred and divine status. Instead, they're actually considered national treasures, so they're still protected pretty well. So much so that a man in 2010 was sentenced to 6 months in prison after killing one of the deer with a crossbow. So it's good to see that they take such good care of them. There's even a bit of a festival where they get all the males together and actually take down their horns so that they can't hurt anybody or themselves. We had apparently just missed this. So some of the deer actually had stubby horns because they had just been trimmed. Okay, instead of making this video 20 minutes long of deer footage, let's move on to something really amazing, which was Todaiji. Hey, so if you are in Kyoto and you have the chance to make it over to Nara, I absolutely recommend it a million times over. Not just for petting and playing with deer. As funny as that is and as cute as they are, there's a place here that is legendary in its stature, and what's here is absolutely mind-blowing to see in person. Pictures and videos, of course, only can do so much. I'm of course talking about this massive temple. Todaiji is just magical. The place looks so important and so historical, which is the kind of stuff that I really dig when I was in Japan. I mean, just look at this place. It's no secret as to why it's so popular. I think it's like a 500 yen ticket to get in, which I would say is absolutely worth it. So if you're here, make sure you check out Todaiji. Now there's plenty to do and see here, but the Daibutsuden, or the Great Buddha Hall, is probably the biggest attraction. That, of course, is the giant building that houses a massive Buddha statue. What's really crazy about the Daibutsuden is it's actually considered one of the largest wooden buildings in the world, and until recently it was considered the very largest. From what I understand, the Buddha inside here is actually the largest of its kind. It's a bronze Buddha statue that is absolutely huge. They say that the palm is the size of a human being, but I think it's quite a bit larger. The Buddha statue in here is 15 meters or 49 foot tall. The Daibutsuden itself, the building, is 157 feet tall, which is just giant. And what's even crazier is that this is a revision of the Daibutsuden, which actually reduced its size back in the Edo period. These dioramas here actually show the state of the temple in both of its larger and reduced states. So this was actually pretty cool, and inside there's even a statue of Buddha in both of them. Really nice craftsmanship here. But of course, there's just tons of amazing statues and other attractions to take a look at while you're in the Daibutsuden. But beyond that, there's so much here in Todaiji to experience, so you have to come here and really just see it all, because there's a ton. But as the day grew longer, my batteries grew weaker in my camera, so it was time to say bye-bye to Todaiji for now, but it would not be forgotten. And outside, there was some kind of performance going on our way back. But it was time for lunch because I am always hungry, so Mamejika Kitchen seemed like a great place that I had eyed up earlier on our way over to the park. Once inside, I got myself a delicious katsu curry, and I even had a beer along with it. Don't tell my mom. But I finished off my meal with a delicious little pudding as well, which everything was just super cute. I got Mughal fried chicken. I got a Mughal cake. I got a Mughal on the goddamn wall. There's a lot of Mughals in this. But now it was time to move on yet again because, well, one day is not a very long time to spend in a place as big and amazing as Nara. So it was time to go to someplace that I had found on a local map. I had received a sightseeing map that told me about some places in the area, and this one particularly really reached out to me. So it was time to go into town and roam the back streets. And can I just say how much I fell in love with Nara? At one point it almost felt like I was lost because we were wandering these back streets really looking for this place, and I gotta say, at this point I was super tired by now. So when we finally met the Naramachi Karakuri Toy Museum, I was excited to say the least. This place is great. It's so small but so quaint. And the host? Yeah. God tier. Now once inside, there's quite a few toys for you to take a look at and even play with, because it would seem that the purpose of this place is to constantly refurbish old school Edo period toys. Nothing here is digital, nothing has a battery in it, it's all super old school and hands-on. It's also government funded, evidently, as well, so this is part of just preserving history, which is nice, because they do a great job at keeping all these little toys in great working condition for people to play with and experience. Some of the toys use strings and pulleys, other toys might use weights, some of them you may just have to use your imagination with, but needless to say, there's a lot here to love. And the staff will gladly guide you through and show you how things work, which just makes it so much more immersive and enjoyable.
Start to move. Do you have any idea how it works? I can show you backside. Yeah, you. That's right. In Japanese garden, there is some kind of bamboo and make big sound, and the boar will run away.
Some of the toys even tell history. In these two samurai toys that the guy was showing me, there's actually a historical battle that plays out between these two samurai within this scene, so that concept's pretty cool. Other stuff is just as simple as fruit changing to vegetables. There's a monkey trying to get a peach, which I thought was pretty funny. And even a Beyblade made out of bamboo and some simple coins. Okay, it wasn't a Beyblade, but it was a top, and it was pretty badass. Even a Tengu. Come on, a Tengu? And the fans come out when it spins around. This is so awesome. There was even a game where he was able to guess what toy we picked off of a page by asking us some simple questions. It was really neat. There's this log cutter right here who really goes into overtime towards the end of this clip. And some sumo wrestlers who, of course, you can choose if left or right wins the battle. Some of this stuff was really, really creative. Honestly, all of it is so neat to see. To think that back in the day, people came up with such creative ways to spend their time really makes you think that today we are so much less inspired. So that's why I really love this stuff. And come on, half of my videos are figure reviews, so of course I was into this. But finally, he showed us this little game where it was shadow puppets, but then when we guessed it right, he would show us how the person was making that shadow. Again, it's just a way of people being really creative, and back in the day, basically playing, I guess, charades in a similar type of way. It was pretty cool. Some of the ways that people had to create these shapes to make the animals in question was really funny, and the guy telling us everything was also just super charming.
He's naked.
So if you can find a Naramachi Mechanical Toy Museum, I absolutely recommend it. The people are super nice, and the experience is really interesting. The final thing that we did in Nara was go to this awesome little animal shelter zoo. I didn't really know what to expect going in. I've been to a few animal cafes, but this place seems to be a little bit better than that. You get a drink included with your ticket there, but also there's just a bunch of cute birds here. For the most part, it's a bunch of owls. There are other animals too, but it's clear that the main attraction here are the birds. They're really cute though, and you can interact with some of them, you can pet a few of them, and there's even a room where you can go in and the guy will sort of make the bird fly around for you. He did it for free for us though, so I guess I really got my money's worth. And finally, the last thing I'll talk about is conveyor belt sushi. I'd been to Japan twice and never had it, and I spent so much money in here. I ate so much sushi.
I love sushi.
But that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Kingu Invades Japan, and I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to like the video, and leave a comment and tell me what you think the most interesting part of this trip so far has been. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter at Kingu_boy, and make sure to follow my Ko-fi and give me $1. If you're not aware, there are other videos in this Japan series, so make sure to click what's on screen to watch the rest of them. Until next time, sayonara, my friends.